2026, the automotive world stood still for a moment. The air was heavy with anticipation, the lights dimmed, and a single word began echoing across the screens. Journey. Not just a vehicle, not just a name, but a promise. BMW's newest creation, the Vision Journey Motorhome, wasn't meant to simply drive people. It was meant to change how humanity moved, lived, and dreamed on the road. When the first concept render leaked online, it didn't look like any motorhome people had ever seen. It looked alive, sleek, metallic, and graceful, like a sculpture that could breathe. The opening line in the reveal video said it all. This is not a home on wheels. This is freedom, reimagined. In an era when electric vehicles were already defining the future, BMW wanted to go one step beyond. They wanted a machine that transformed, both physically and emotionally. The Vision Journey wasn't a car, nor a camper. It was an evolving space designed around the human experience, responding to mood, location, and light. The story begins deep inside BMW's Future Mobility Lab in Munich. Engineers had spent years studying the psychology of motion, the way light, sound, and texture influence comfort on long drives. They realized people didn't just want to move efficiently. They wanted to feel the road, to connect with their surroundings without sacrificing the elegance of a luxury suite. That's when the idea of a transforming motorhome was born, a vehicle that could expand, shift, and adapt to any environment. At first glance, the 2026 Vision Journey looked like a high-performance touring van. Streamlined body, laser-cut aerodynamic fins, and glowing blue energy veins running along the sides. But once parked, it began its signature transformation. Panels extended, the roof lifted, and transparent walls unfolded, creating a 270-degree panoramic lounge. It was like watching a metallic butterfly unfold its wings in perfect harmony. Inside, the cabin wasn't cluttered with screens and buttons. Instead, it was alive with ambient intelligence. Surfaces responded to touch, voice, and even emotion. When you entered the vehicle, it scanned your heartbeat, temperature, and eye motion to adjust lighting, music, and temperature automatically. BMW called it Adaptive Serenity Mode. To the driver, it felt as if the motorhome understood them on a personal level. The story of its development was as emotional as the machine itself. The lead designer, Emilia Kruger, was inspired not by cars, but by nature. She once said in an interview, "When a bird opens its wings, it doesn't need to think. It just transforms for purpose. I wanted our design to feel that natural." Her sketches showed smooth organic lines merging into geometric patterns, a blend of freedom and precision, just like BMW's philosophy. The motorhome's skeleton was built from ultralight carbon titanium alloy, strong enough to withstand off-road terrains yet flexible enough for transformation. When driving, it stayed compact for maximum aerodynamic efficiency. But once stopped, a soft hum signaled the beginning of its metamorphosis. Panels expanded outward, the rear opened to reveal a lounge deck, and the roof elevated like a glass canopy, allowing sunlight to flood the interior. The world hadn't seen anything like it. Social media exploded. Every luxury magazine ran the headline, BMW Vision Journey, the future you can live in. Inside, the experience was something between a five-star hotel and a meditation retreat. There was no traditional steering wheel. Instead, a retractable control ring appeared when driving manually. The front seats could swivel backward, transforming into part of the living space. At night, the panoramic glass turned opaque, converting the entire cabin into a private bedroom under the stars. The materials were ethically sourced. Sustainable leather alternatives, recycled wood composites, and fiber optics embedded in the floor that mimicked the glow of moonlight. The scent of the cabin changed based on time and environment. In the morning, it released a subtle pine aroma. At night, a hint of lavender to relax the mind. It was more than a vehicle. It was an experience. But the most futuristic feature was its AI assistant, named Evo. Evo wasn't just a digital voice, it was a travel companion that learned over time. It could suggest scenic routes, predict weather changes, and even prepare your favorite playlist before you asked. EVO could manage the vehicle's solar deployment system, regulate battery consumption, and adjust the cabin mood lighting depending on how long the journey had been. One of the most stunning visuals came from EVO's HoloDrive interface, a projection system that turned the windshield into a cinematic augmented display. The road ahead would overlay with virtual guidance, highlighting scenic viewpoints and upcoming terrain shifts. When parked, it transformed into a transparent screen that could display movies or live nature feeds. Every journey felt personalized, every stop a luxury retreat. And yet, the Vision Journey remained a BMW at its heart, performance-driven, precise, and powerful. Beneath the smooth surface lay a quad-motor electric drivetrain, capable of instant torque and silent acceleration. The vehicle could go from 0 to 60 mph in 4.5 seconds, an astonishing number for something that could transform into a home. The suspension system adjusted automatically to terrain conditions, using real-time sensors to balance weight and height. Whether gliding through mountain roads or desert sands, the Vision Journey moved like a whisper of technology. As the story of its debut spread, so did the questions. Was this a production-ready vehicle or just a dream sculpted in pixels? BMW's executives stayed cryptic. "It's not about production," they said. "It's about vision." But secretly, insiders knew. Prototype testing had already begun in southern Germany. A handful of journalists were invited to see it under strict NDA. One of them, a veteran automotive journalist named Mark Holden, later described the experience. "It's strange. You don't feel like you're inside a vehicle. You feel like you're inside a living organism that respects your space. When it transforms, you almost feel it breathing." Mark's words went viral. The Vision Journey wasn't just another EV. It became a symbol of what luxury could mean in the age of autonomy and sustainability. As the sun set over the Bavarian Alps during the official preview event, the vehicle stood at the edge of a cliff, panels slowly extending, lights pulsing softly like a heartbeat. The reflection of the horizon danced across its metallic body. The narrator's voice from the reveal echoed, "You don't just go places in the Vision Journey. You become part of them." That moment captured the essence of BMW's dream, to build not a car, but a living experience, a machine that invited emotion, memory, and wonder to travel along with you. It wasn't just a motorhome, it was the evolution of travel itself. And as the camera zoomed out over the cinematic skyline of Munich, the logo appeared, LUME AUTO, where the future begins. Subscribe to LUME AUTO for more luxury journeys beyond imagination. The first public demonstration of the Vision Journey wasn't held in a showroom or at a car expo. It happened somewhere far more poetic, in the heart of the Italian Dolomites, where the roads curved like ribbons and the horizon looked endless. BMW's media team wanted something authentic, a place where technology could meet nature without artifice. The motorhome arrived at dawn, transported in complete secrecy under black covers. Only a handful of invited journalists, engineers, and designers stood waiting, their breath fogging in the cold mountain air. As the sun began to rise, the black covers fell away. For a moment, silence swept over the valley. The Vision Journey shimmered like liquid metal, its contours catching the gold of the morning light. Unlike other concept vehicles that looked exaggerated or impractical, this one felt grounded yet otherworldly. The crowd could feel that it belonged to the landscape, not fighting it, but flowing with it. Amelia Kruger, the chief designer, stepped forward. "We built this to live with the earth," she said softly, "to move gently through beauty without disturbing it." She pressed her palm against the hood and the vehicle came to life. Soft blue lines rippled across the surface like veins of light. The hum was subtle, almost like a heartbeat. Then, in a motion that felt impossibly organic, the transformation began. The roof panels lifted gracefully, unfolding like petals. Transparent glass expanded, curving outward to reveal a glowing interior bathed in warm gold light. Side panels extended into balconies with built-in seating. Within 60 seconds, the vehicle had evolved from a sleek road machine into a mobile sanctuary. Cameras clicked, drones hovered, and for a few silent minutes everyone just watched, mesmerized. Inside, the transformation continued. The dashboard retracted, the steering module vanished, and the space shifted itself into what felt like a futuristic living room. The flooring extended outward, becoming a soft, textured lounge area. Fiber optic strands along the walls pulsed gently, responding to the rhythm of ambient sounds. The air carried a faint note of cedar and citrus, subtle but luxurious. Evo, the onboard AI, greeted the guests. "Good morning, Amelia." "Good morning, guests. Welcome to the Vision Journey. Today's conditions are optimal. 12 degrees Celsius, 92% air purity. May I activate panorama mode?" A ripple of light swept through the cabin as Evo's holographic avatar appeared, a floating sphere of light that adjusted its hue to match the sunrise. Amelia nodded. "Do it." The glass walls turned transparent, revealing the full 360-degree view of the mountains. The sense of immersion was overwhelming. Journalists who had spent years reviewing luxury vehicles were suddenly silent, lost in awe. One whispered, "This isn't transportation. This is meditation." Then came the part everyone was waiting for, the drive. Amelia took the driver's position, though there was no conventional seat. Instead, the floor rose slightly beneath her, forming an adaptive platform that responded to her stance. She simply placed her hands forward, and the hollow drive interface appeared, a translucent wheel of light floating mid-air. Evo's voice followed, calm and confident. Manual assist mode engaged. "Enjoy your journey." As the Vision Journey began to move, it did so with impossible smoothness. There was no engine noise, only the whisper of wind and the faint vibration of tires gliding over asphalt. Each curve of the mountain road seemed choreographed, the suspension subtly shifting, the cabin tilting just enough to keep everyone in perfect balance. The electric motors delivered seamless power, each wheel operating independently to maintain traction and precision. Cameras inside the cabin captured every moment, streaming it to BMW's global feed. Viewers around the world watched as the vehicle danced through the mountain passes like a living organism. Comments flooded in. "Unreal. Looks like a spaceship. Is this even real life?" After 40 minutes of driving, the group arrived at an overlook with a panoramic view of Lake Misurina. Amelia parked the vehicle and whispered a command. "Evo, Serenity Mode." The hum of transformation began again. Roof panels expanded outward, creating a shaded awning. The rear extended into a small terrace with a retractable coffee bar. The floor surface adapted, forming reclined seating that faced the horizon. Within moments, the group was sitting in silence, sipping espresso as the morning mist drifted across the lake. It wasn't just about spectacle. It was about emotion. The Vision Journey had managed to merge luxury, sustainability, and serenity into a single moving experience. Journalists who came expecting a gimmick now found themselves reflecting on what travel could truly mean in the future. Mark Holden, the journalist who had described it as a living organism, was there again. He filmed a short segment for his channel. What BMW has created isn't just engineering. It's empathy on wheels. The way it breathes, the way it shifts, it's like the machine understands your silence. Later that day, the convoy moved toward Venice, testing the vehicle's autonomous and energy systems. Evo switched to full auto mode, and the guests were free to walk inside, talk, and rest. The floor adjusted for motion, keeping cups and plates perfectly still even as the vehicle climbed or descended. Real-time energy visualization displayed on the side panel, glowing lines of blue energy pulsing from the battery core. BMW claimed a range of 200 kilometers per charge, with solar augmentation capable of adding another 200 during daylight. As the vehicle crossed the countryside, Evo began to narrate softly. In 2026, travel is more than distance. It's rhythm. Each journey has its heartbeat. The voice, calm and almost human, gave the experience a cinematic depth. The passengers didn't just see the landscape. They felt like part of a story unfolding in real time. At nightfall, they reached a secluded field outside Venice. The group decided to camp there to test the night mode and living configuration. The transformation this time was different. As darkness fell, the glass panels gradually turned opaque, and the ceiling came alive with a simulated starlight projection. The interior lighting warmed to a soft amber tone. Evo adjusted the temperature and began playing ambient classical music. The guests lay back on reclining surfaces that reshaped themselves into beds. Amelia watched quietly from the corner, smiling. Years of work, sketches, and sleepless nights had finally taken physical form. She whispered to her team, "It's alive." For the first time in history, a vehicle wasn't just a vessel of movement, it was a space of emotion, adaptation, and memory. The Vision Journey had become a living companion, one that understood when to move and when to rest. Outside, the moon rose above the fields, its reflection glimmering on the vehicle's metallic body. The night wind whispered softly through the vents, and Evo dimmed the lights, saying, "Good night, Amelia. Tomorrow brings new roads. It wasn't science fiction anymore." The future had already arrived, and it had wheels. The next morning, sunlight spilled through the misty Italian countryside, scattering soft beams across the Vision Journey's reflective surface. Dewdrops clung to its metallic skin like tiny stars from the night before. Amelia awoke before anyone else, quietly stepping outside. The air smelled of earth and wet grass. She turned back toward the motorhome, still in its night configuration, and for the first time she felt a strange tenderness. Not toward a product, but toward a presence. She whispered to herself, "We built a soul, not a machine." As the team gathered for breakfast, Evo activated the morning routine. "Good morning," the voice said warmly. "It's 7:12 a.m., the sky is clear, and your journey to Venice will begin shortly. Would you like me to prepare reflection mode?" The cabin walls shifted from opaque to translucent, flooding the interior with gold. A faint hum signaled the panels retracting to their travel positions, each movement silent and precise. The transformation felt ritualistic, almost sacred. The drive toward Venice was cinematic perfection. Rolling hills turned into narrow bridges and sunlit canals. The Vision Journey glided effortlessly through small Italian villages, its design so futuristic that locals stopped to record it on their phones. Children waved, couples stared, and more than once shop owners stepped outside, unsure if they were seeing a real vehicle or a vision. BMW's drone cameras followed closely, capturing every reflection, every flare of light bouncing off the silver-blue chassis. The footage would later become one of the most watched automotive reveal videos in history. It wasn't just the aesthetics. It was the emotion, the way technology seemed to belong in the human world instead of overpowering it. When they arrived at Venice's experimental design pier, journalists and influencers were already waiting. Massive LED screens displayed the words, "The future can travel." The Vision Journey rolled silently onto the stage. This time, the transformation sequence was accompanied by a live orchestra. As the music swelled, the motorhome unfolded, expanding its panels in perfect sync with each note. The glass roof rose like a cathedral dome, and the interior lights shimmered in rhythm. The crowd gasped. Some clapped. Others simply watched in stunned silence. Evo's voice echoed through hidden speakers. "Every journey is a story. Every story deserves a home. Welcome to the Vision Journey." When the final note of the orchestra faded, Amelia stepped forward. Her voice trembled slightly with pride and exhaustion. "This project was never about speed or power," she said. "It was about harmony between human, machine, and planet. This is what happens when we stop designing for efficiency and start designing for emotion." Applause erupted, filling the dock with energy. The moment was streamed live to millions around the world. Hashtags like Vision Journey and iBMW Future Home trended globally within hours. For the next several days, the internet buzzed with speculation. Would BMW actually release it? Could this concept change the luxury RV market forever? Behind the scenes, BMW executives had already begun quiet negotiations with manufacturing partners in Switzerland and the U.S. They knew that what started as a design exercise had touched something deeper in public imagination. People didn't just want vehicles anymore. They wanted experiences. In the following weeks, clips from the Venice event dominated social media. Influencers described it as the first car that breathes. Architects began referencing it in lectures on adaptive design. Even environmentalists praised the project's fully sustainable materials and zero-emission drive. The Vision Journey had transcended the car world. It had become a cultural symbol of balance between progress and peace. Mark Holden released his final review on his channel. We've entered an era where travel doesn't mean leaving comfort behind. The Vision Journey makes movement feel like meditation, and that changes everything. He filmed the final scene standing on a hillside overlooking Lake Como, the Vision Journey parked behind him, panels half extended in evening light. The reflection of clouds drifted slowly across its curved glass. Maybe, he said to the camera, this is the first vehicle that reminds us that technology isn't just about going faster, it's about slowing down beautifully. Back at BMW's design headquarters, Amelia watched that video alone in her office. The night skyline of Munich glowed outside her window. She smiled faintly as Ivo's voice came through her wrist console. "Would you like me to play the road test recording?" it asked. She nodded, and the sounds of wind and laughter from the Dolomites filled the room. For a moment, she closed her eyes and was back on that mountain, watching the sunrise through the transparent walls of her creation. Months later, the Vision Journey made its ceremonial tour across Europe: Paris, Zurich, Oslo, and finally London. Each event drew thousands. Even rival companies sent their designers to study it. Yet, what people remembered most wasn't the engineering. It was the feeling they got standing near it, a sense of calm, possibility, and connection. In the final scene of BMW's official cinematic film, the Vision Journey drives along the Norwegian coastline at sunset. The sea glimmers like liquid glass. As the vehicle stops by a cliff, its panels expand once again, transforming into a glowing cocoon of light. Ivo's voice whispers softly, "The road never ends. It only transforms." The camera pans upward, revealing the northern lights dancing above. The words fade in. The 2026 BMW Vision Journey. Freedom, reimagined. As the screen fades to black, a new logo appears, silver and luminous against the dark. LUME AUTO. Subscribe to LUME AUTO for more luxury journeys beyond imagination.